going to start with the wonderful I Am Adriana T. Over to you.
Peace, love, and light, everybody. I felt like giving you guys a look into little I Am Adriana T with this piece, and this is Through the Sands of Time. Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore, but some days I sit and wish I was a kid again. Elementary school, active book fest, and my kente cloth, purple and gold, about to walk off to join a group of drummers to a jam and a beat that made me feel special because the rhythm came from me. Not caring that my hands were getting sore from repetition, that feeling like a key to my heart's ignition. Ba-boom, bop, bop, ba-boom, bop, bop, boom, bop, ba-boom, bop, ba-boom, bop, bop. Amazed at my palms and how connected I was. Too young to know it yet, but that was my first buzz. And my first clue that I hear the music different. Every pattern, every drum hit. There began my addiction. Then my education as a weekly treat. Mom would take us to the library to look and read. In the 90s, you could check out VHS tapes, and Mom always chose to edutain. Get it? Edutain? You got it? Okay. But on this particular day, she went the serious way. Wouldn't let us see her choice until she wrangled us to watch, giving us the disclaimer to mind our hearts, absorb the history, learn the truth, but don't let the truth make your soul hateful. She pressed play on Roots by Alex Haley. I was hooked, especially when I heard it was based on the book every actor I admired. Cicely Tyson, Dr. Maya, Angelou LeVar Burton, and so many more. But as I kept watching, I was rocked to my core. Unable to believe what I saw on the screen. Although I only watched, I took it personally. We finished the whole thing in a matter of days, and for a little while after, I harbored some hate. Every white person I came across got a sideways look. Their presence pissed me off. Until I talked to Miss Bullock, my kindergarten teacher, who was white but very kind and understood my disagreements, agreeing that our history was cruel and egregious and pushing me to see that hate's what keeps us in pieces. Between Mom and her, I let that heaviness go, choosing to see people by their inner glow. I read and watched all I could before becoming distracted by trauma, drama, and a fuse like a matchstick. Despite my education being paused by me, through experiencing life, I was able to see Black beauty in cookouts, hair sessions, conversations, latchkey kid expressions, even church congregations. Every trip to museums, a cause for pause, reflection, acceptance, shock, and awe. Culture by way of all my senses, teaching that every part of life is deliberate. Half of these memories I hated growing up. Only to appreciate it all is what the point of reminiscing is designed to do, creating a map designed by you that anyone can visit if they dare to ride the machine of their creation through the sands of time.
Yeah, I felt that. I felt that because I remember watching Roots, and then due to the fact that I'm some years your elder or senior rather, I was learning things in history class that made it like, yo, they're telling this straight up. And then I'm watching it from the viewpoint of what Alex Haley, so cleverly portrayed in the film, and it was quite something. So those words, they hit deep just now.
I appreciate that, bro, and I appreciate your perspective on it. You're not that much older than me. Hold up now. But I think no matter when you experience Roots, it still hits you the same way, because it, even for the time period, for anybody that doesn't know, it was originally done in the 70s. And I remember when my mom actually was telling us about it right before we watched it, that she watched it in real time. Like when it was airing on TV, and it was a series, and it was like every Black person in the world was talking about this thing every night, for 2 weeks' time. And it was just so powerful to me. And then the fact that she had the wherewithal to show us when we were really young. Like I was like 8, and this was right before a lot of stuff I experienced in my life occurred. But it was important for me to have that knowledge. And my little brother was 6. You know what I mean? But it's important to educate the kids young is what I'm getting at with this. Like, especially when it comes to culture, because it helps you understand people more, which is why I'm really appreciative of Mom for saying, guard your hearts. Don't let this make you hateful, because this is a moment in time. It's not all people, and it shouldn't be assigned to them. You know what I mean? So much peace, man.
That's the part that stood out to me the most, though. Beyond just having that shared experience of both of us seeing that film in our youth, is that your mom, made that distinction for y'all. That's heavy.
Yeah. I think I've never watched Roots, although my elders have. But we grew up. It's never been off the conversation talking about the fact that we are the descendants of enslaved people. That's just something that we've always known. And one of my uncles is a historian, so he's wrote books on it and things like that. So it was a topic of conversation always. So it's like I felt so much nostalgia listening to that piece. When you started with back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. All of us love that song. That is that song brings back like running around in the sunshine, and you know what I mean? Like that, it absolutely brings back that nostalgic feeling. And all the things that you said about going to the library, and those were all the same sort of things that we did as children. So that's interesting as well, is that, what I always find fascinating about culture, and particularly the diaspora, is that we got spread all over the planet, but we still do the same things, just in different places. I just think that's amazing when you really check it. So that was a beautiful piece. Loved it. Thank you, Adriana.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, May?
The youngin'. How you doing, love?
She's never seen
Yeah, I was gonna say also, obviously, I've never watched Roots either, and I watched it. I think, as you said, it's different for you guys because like you're all around like the similar age thing. So I still back in the days. I'm still a child. I'm kind of still in the bracket. But I like the part where you were talking about like how you had hate in your heart, because I feel like that's kind of like the growth, because lots of people have that experience. Because it obviously makes sense that you'd see the way that your people were treated, and then you'd be like, well, of course I'm not gonna like you because you fit in with that. And I like the fact that obviously you overcame that, and it's kind of just like the generalization. That's kind of like the issues with some of the biggest issues in the world are caused from these mindsets where you're like, oh, one person who was a certain type of person who was white or was gay or like you say, stuff like that, and then suddenly all these people are that way, and you kind of generalize. So I like the fact that it was kind of highlighting that these people behave like this, but it doesn't mean that the people who are similar to them now are behaving the same way. So yeah, it was a really nice piece.
From the mouth of babes, ladies and gentlemen. That was awesome, and I appreciate you. Thank you very much for noticing that.
Truth. Yeah, I did clock that bit as well, which I thought was really good, about your teacher, because that was another bit that I almost forgot that I related to, because I had a teacher which I think I kind of fell in love with when I was like 4, Mrs. Rowley. And I've wrote her into one of my stories, and she was like this older white woman, and she was just so lovely. And she, when you look at an adult as a child and they're like angelic, because all they do
so right now. Yes, that's Miss Bullock. To this day, I love her. Yes.
Yeah. You know that they loved you, and your colour didn't matter.
Yeah.
And to some extent, I think my colour probably made her love me a bit more, actually, because she knew I was on the outside. So you talking about Miss Bullock definitely took me to Mrs. Rowley in my head.
Very cool. Very, very, very cool.